I've been reviewing your file, and it seems as if you have an addiction to Three Wise Radio.
Yeah, they're like well-known shows,
Okay. I'm okay with this.
like Gilligan's Island. Now that you're done with Game of Thrones, binge watch Gilligan's Island.
It's logical. Makes sense. No?
Yeah.
I think that... Why am I not... There we are.
You talk into the microphone.
I am talking into the microphone.
Talk into it harder. Not so soft, but harder.
For some reason, it's just taking a while to, pick up the sound waves.
Now you go. Looked pretty quick to me. I can just see in the reflection of a gas case, though. Lando, stop it. I know what you're doing.
Ready when you are.
Excellent. Oh, it's my turn, isn't it? Balls. Okay. Did you say his name first?
No.
Damn. What are we called? Three Wise Guys, right?
Three Wise Radio.
Oh, God, son of a dick nugget. Welcome to Three Wise Radio, where we talk all things, number one podcast in the country, guaranteed, for all things TV, movie, internet, the best one being the most important, Garrett News, all things, what did I miss?
Sam News.
Sam News, baseball, sports, keeping up with the Kardashians, LARPing.
Yeah, I think that falls in the nerve.
Yeah,
On
and
that.
smoothie making.
Yeah.
Joined as my smoothie expert, Garrett Walker. Garrett, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I actually had a smoothie today.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was going to ask when was the last time you had one to try and call my own bluff, but
Today.
excellent.
It was great.
Was it a healthy smoothie, or was it like this is more of a dessert kind of thing?
Well, considering how I can't have any sugars or anything, it was just
right.
fruit, apple juice, and ice.
Okay.
So
Aren't you supposed to put like kale in there or something?
I don't know.
Or is kale no longer trending?
We just don't have kale at Starbucks.
Fair enough. All right, you go with what you got. That's totally fine. How's your week been?
It's been good. It's been good.
Stunning.
Whole lot of nothing, really.
Sometimes that's exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Shall we get into some news? Today we're just going to be covering some headlines and then starting up a new little game that Garrett and I are going to challenge ourselves to this week now that the Game of Thrones drought is well underway.
Yes.
So,
A 2-year drought.
at the least. That's fine. We'll all survive. You'll forget about it in a couple months and then that'll be okay. But we'll see. So let's get into the least important headlines of the day. Inhumans is out in theaters and made $1.5 million. Do we still not care?
Yes.
Excellent. Congratulations. Moving on. Did you watch the Gotham trailer?
No.
You did not.
I did not.
Did you see Bruce Wayne's cool proto bat suit, which it looks like a bicycle helmet mask?
Looks real dumb.
Excellent. All right. Do we still not care?
Yes.
Excellent. Now, on the entire opposite end of the spectrum, some of the greatest news that we have heard in quite some time. Screen Rant, a website, is reporting that one of the frontrunners to play Billy Batson is John Cena.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Is this not the most exciting news of the day?
That's the best news.
The other nominee is Joshua Sasse.
Who's that?
He is on a TV show. Let's see. I can't remember. It's some small TV show that I had never heard of. But the idea of Cena being a child in a giant man's body is electrifying. And
Yes.
This is actually the first bit of good news we've heard from the DCEU in quite some time.
Yes.
Or if this doesn't qualify as the DCEU and this is the whatever new banner they're making, DC original movies or whatever it is that they're trying to do now.
I don't think they know yet.
But it's nice to hear a slice of good news. I just hope that they can make this happen. Perhaps we need to start some sort of campaign.
I think we've already been campaigning for this.
Right, but a silly campaign. You know how when they wanted to save Chuck, everybody bought Subway sandwiches and sent them to like the producers, or when they wanted to save Roswell, everybody bought hot sauce or something stupid. that makes people think these people are dumb enough. Maybe we should make one more season of this.
Okay.
But I don't know.
We'll work on this. We'll brainstorm this after the episode.
Excellent. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's take a look at something else. What else do we got going on today? Oh, right. Speaking of DC news, back onto the good side of it. There's a lawsuit going on.
Oh, God.
Hasbro is suing DC Comics and Warner Brothers over, want to take a guess?
Is it Wonder Woman?
No, it is not.
Is it Suicide Squad?
It is not.
Batman, then.
It is Bumblebee.
What?
Hasbro, the classic Transformers Bumblebee. DC is now making, let's see, they have their own character, a DC superhero named Bumblebee. And when I say they're making a new hero, what I mean is there's actually a female superhero from 1977 called Bumblebee. It's a lady that shrinks into a bumblebee. It's Ant-Man.
Yeah, I got that.
Only snag with the lawsuit, Autobot Bumblebee appeared in 1983.
So what grounds do they have for this?
The idea is that they have potentially marketed it as a product before DC marketed Bumblebee as a product.
But even still, like, the characters are not remotely the same. It's just the name.
They both have yellow.
So?
Well, it's compelling, if you ask me.
You and I both have blue eyes. I'm not going to sue you over it.
Well, that wouldn't hold up at all.
Exactly.
Because I was before you. And so, clearly, I had the patent on blue eyes.
Nope.
I now see how this argument makes no sense. Okay, I see what you're doing there. Okay, fair enough. Well, it looks like that this probably isn't going to be a big thing. Their big issue with it was there's now a toy that DC is coming out with that's like Bumblebee, and it's just a little action figure, and that's what's giving them the issues, is because they kind of have the market on toys.
That's weird.
We'll keep you posted. Garrett, if I gave you $800, what would you do with it?
I'd pay off my credit card.
But what if you wanted to do something more frivolous with it?
I'd probably buy a new computer.
Okay.
Or at least start building up a new desktop.
What if all I
Maybe.
told you was you could buy Legos? How many Legos do you think you could buy with $800?
It's a lot. I could buy a lot of Legos with that.
Or you could buy one Lego.
Oh, God.
The new and improved UCS Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon. Both versions, so it just has a different disc. $800 coming out this year. It has been officially announced the largest Lego in history. I believe it is 10 years since the anniversary of the original Collector Series Millennium Falcon. Originally 5,200 pieces. This edition making it the biggest Lego set ever. 7,500 pieces.
A, that's a lot of Legos. B, that's a lot of money.
Yes.
How much was your Death Star set?
Yes.
Fair enough.
I saved up for quite some time for that, and I believe it was about $400. Saved up quarters my entire life to buy them.
This thing...
It's huge. I mean, it's massive and intricately detailed, and I mean, it's really impressive. It's actually, the box for it is so big that the current Lego stores do not have a container to help people take it home. So they may have to make some kind of custom...
Oh, no, I think I did see something about that. They were making like a little cart or something.
Yes,
just like
a little like to-go case for it, because it is so massive.
Oh, my God. Wow.
I mean, I'm a little out of the Lego scene just because I can't have more things in my house. There's not the space for it, but it's a pretty cool thing, but I don't even know if I could pull the trigger on an $800 set.
I don't... Honestly, like, anything more than, like, 500, and it's like, I need to be getting some function out of this, or some use out of this, you know? Other than just, like, a collector's item. Like, that's like my max cutoff right now.
Yeah, I mean, I could see myself... I don't know. I just have a lot of history with Legos, and I know they get... Like, they're so hard to maintain because they get so dusty, and they're hard to... Unless you have, like, a massive display set, it's very difficult to keep them in good working condition. Working condition, that doesn't mean anything.
good
But yeah, I mean,
aesthetic condition.
They're also thinking that they might not actually have that many to sell, and that it will be a limited run.
I figure it
because it
probably
is
will
just so massive.
Yeah.
But if you want to spend $800 on something, there's an easy way to do it in one fell swoop.
Damn.
Are you a fan of who are your favorite comedians right now? Give me 3 that you really enjoy.
Louis C.K.,
Okay.
John Mulaney.
Okay.
Shit. I don't really listen to a lot of comedians. I'll just stick with those 2.
Okay. Fair enough. Jerry Seinfeld, anyone on that list? No. Not see a lot of people not stand-up comedy don't think of him as a stand-up comedian, but that's of course.
I mean, like I know that he was kind of like that's where he kind of got his big thing, you know. Or was it? What did he do? Seinfeld?
No. He was definitely stand-up well before
Okay.
Seinfeld. Speaking of which, Netflix is giving him a special, and it's called Jerry Before Seinfeld. And it's him in a mock buildup of the old place where he used to do stand-up when he first got started, doing a comedy set. It's kind of half comedy show, half historical look at the evolution of Jerry before he became Jerry Seinfeld from Seinfeld.
Interesting.
Trailer's okay. He, to me, as a comedian, doesn't really click with me very well.
Yeah.
And I think I'm pretty confident that the dude's an asshole. But just conceptually of seeing how he took shape and like created or helped create that show.
Yeah.
This, to me, looks very interesting.
I'd watch it.
Especially because you don't have to pay for it because it's on Netflix,
Yeah.
which you already have.
Yeah.
So, but I like that idea because I think it's smart on Netflix that they do have that avenue that they have a pretty good stranglehold on comedy right now.
Yeah.
To do not just comedy specials, but comedy specials with a twist.
Yeah, they can essentially just commission what they want out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. That's
Yeah, interesting. So I think that's I think you do a great one with Chris Rock. I think there's a ton of comedians that you would like to see how they grew up. I mean, lots of different circumstances. Comedians come from all sides of life.
Yeah.
So I think that would be pretty cool. But that comes out. I have no idea. So that's something you have to look for.
Okay.
Do you remember earlier when we talked about we're just blowing through it? Do you remember earlier when we were talking about James Gunn being the producer of a reboot of Starsky and Hutch?
Yeah, that was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yes. Does that excite you?
I had never watched the original Starsky and Hutch.
What if I told you, well, Amazon has picked it up, which
Okay.
they're hit or miss with TV shows. They haven't really gotten the solid footing that I think they wanted to. Even I think we did a talk about them a year ago or so for Christmas, about around Christmas time, is what's going to be the best content producer coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
But they're partnering with Amazon, and he's essentially saying that it's not going to be it's not going to be a reboot. It's actually going to be a continuation. And the only thing that piqued my interest was that it's going to be a continuation of the original series that would deconstruct the concept of a buddy cop show. Which I think with all the buddy cop movies that we've been having now, they're just back to back to back. We're getting a pretty large influx of those and of reboots.
Mm-hmm.
That a deconstruction of them, it might be a good time for it. And it also might be the nail in the coffin of saying, let's take a break from these buddy cop reboots for a while because clearly,
Yeah.
We've oversaturated the market and this would be a good time to steer away.
I'm just trying to think of how that would work. I'm down for the idea. I'm just like trying to.
I mean, I think it works. I think it works okay as a TV show. I'm trying to think.
No, more so just the concept of like deconstructing the buddy cop idea.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Brooklyn Nine-Nine kind of does it with like cop shows and procedurals to a small extent, I believe, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's kind of good to see something fresh, so
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about it.
I'll definitely look into it.
Yeah. Did you? Let's see. Wrapping up our news segment here. Did you enjoy La La Land? I know you've got a dancing background. Did you see it, or what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I saw
on
it. As with anything that I go see, I have to like make a conscious effort to like separate myself as another performer. Like if I ever see like a musical show or a musical movie like that, I have to watch it a second time just to like view it as a viewer for the first time and then view it as a performer. Because I find myself just like critiquing it. It's like, oh, well, your technique was bad there, blah, 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 like stuff
Really?
like that. And so I kind of have to just like take myself out and be like, okay, how does this stand by itself? Even with all these elements in it, like, is it a decent movie? Is it a good movie? So, but I liked it.
I thought it was a strong movie. How did you think in terms of like direction and visually?
I really liked it visually. I don't really know how much the director had a hand in that. Like, I don't know. I guess I liked it in terms of the direction it was.
Was there a spectacle, or just like, oh man, this makes me want to live in L.A.?
No.
No, fair enough.
I've been to LA. I don't want to live in LA.
I hear it's quite dirty.
It's very hot.
There's just a lot of humans.
Yeah.
Some would argue too many.
I would probably be one of those people.
Well, I say this because director of it, Oscar-winning director Damien Chazelle, is working on 2 new projects, and I wanted to see which one interests you more. We've got a musical in Paris, France. He's directing the first 2 episodes. It's a Netflix musical based on it's a multicultural jazz club and how that kind of just goes through modern times in Paris, France. So he's directing the first 2 episodes of that. Or would you rather see him directing a astronaut movie with John Barenthal as Dave Scott, one of the pilots aboard the Gemini, I believe it was Gemini 8 mission, and also eventually one of the few men who has ever walked on the moon, pairing with Ryan Gosling and Kyle Chandler?
I don't know who Kyle Chandler is.
He's what's that show? There's a football show where he's like, it's Texas football.
Saturday Night Lights? Or Friday Night Lights?
Yeah, I think so. He's like the dad or the coach.
Or Blue Mountain State? I don't know.
It's not Blue Mountain State. You'd know him if you saw him.
Okay.
But John Barenthal as an astronaut. What excites you more? A musical TV series on Netflix or astronaut John Barenthal?
Is that one a movie or is that one a...
That's a movie.
Okay.
So TV show versus movie.
Just judging off of what I've seen from this director, I'd be more interested to see where he can, like, where he goes with the jazz club thing, just because that was a kind of a big focus with La La Land. But conceptually, I like John Barenthal in space. I like space. I like...
What do you like more, space or John Barenthal?
Ooh, space.
Space beats John Barenthal?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So you had to pick one. What do you go with?
I'll go with the jazz club.
Fair enough. All right. Well, you also can watch that a lot faster too.
Yeah.
So nothing wrong with that.
What about you? Which one?
I mean, I don't hate musicals, but I also don't give a shit about musicals. So
Fair enough.
John Barenthal in space. I assume there won't be laser guns in it, but there's always a fingers crossed for laser guns, because if they're going to be introduced anywhere, it'll be space.
Space Punisher.
We can only dream, Garrett. We can only dream. Speaking of space punishers, Game of Thrones is over. It plays. You shut your dirty mouth.
We only listen to 3 Wise Radio.
Game of Thrones is over. How are you handling it?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I was really excited to get together with all of the guys and stuff on Sunday, and it was like, wait, nope.
Did you still get together with all of the guys?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's still good.
Yeah.
I actually am not taking it as toughly as I thought I would.
I'm really not. Especially just because, like, the whole season this far has been, like, I don't want to say meh, but, like, it's kind of been across, like, all across the board with this past season. So, it's not really hurting my feelings too much that it's gone yet.
Huh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have any problem. There were a few small issues that I have with this season, but overall, I thought it was really good. It wasn't like the pristine Game of Thrones, like, oh man, you got to watch this show based off of this season. But I still really enjoyed myself watching it. And again, I think we've come to the point where it's not just about the show, but it's about the experience with other people.
Yeah.
And just kind of theory crafting and things like that. I think that's what really makes that show impressive, is people love to talk about it. Mm-hmm. I think that's also true with like Breaking Bad or big big game-changing shows like that. That's what really brings people in. So that's what I'll be missing most. And with that in mind, although we won't be able to watch it with a big group of people, I wanted to say, because now our Sunday nights, we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Right? I figured we could take a look. Den of Geek, another a website, has come up with a list of 7 shows you should binge watch now that Game of Thrones is over. But that's too easy. So what I did was I took those names and I put them in a football helmet, because football starts soon. Go Packers. And we are going to select one piece of paper, and whatever show that is, we have to at least watch the first episode by our next episode, and
Okay.
either give it the thumbs up or the thumbs down for continuing.
Okay.
There's a pretty big swath of shows in this. One I particularly hope that I get, but a lot of these are shows that you should watch, or that everybody says, oh man, you got to watch this, but I've just never sat down. They all also are big time investments, so hopefully this will jumpstart us into potentially finding a new good show.
Okay.
You down?
I'm done.
All right, excellent. If you weren't down, that would have been a real bummer for the episode. But let me grab my helmet. See, how do the guys on Movie Versus do this? Go. Do you have a cool sound effect you can put in here?
No.
Excellent, perfect. All right, Garrett, I'm going to allow you to go first. If you have,
So we're both picking one.
we're both picking one.
Okay.
If you've watched the episode, you do not get to. You have to pull it again.
Grab one.
Don't look at it until I grab mine. All right, Garrett. What show will you be watching?
Avatar.
Damn it! Have you watched Avatar before?
The show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it back.
All right.
Here we go again. Drop it. Nah, that's the one that I wanted. I've never watched it. I believe in you. It's just a piece of...
sticking to the side of the helmet.
It's part of the challenge. It keeps things exciting for the audience.
All right. Lost.
Lost. Have you watched Lost?
I have not.
Perfect. I was so glad because I did not want that one. I will be watching Black Mirror.
Ooh, you'll enjoy that.
We'll see. It's been a show that I've definitely been hesitant to watching, just for the sake of everybody telling me how good it is. So
I really enjoy it. It's it does a great job of kind of like to bringing to light the what if thing. I feel like this was a big thing back when machines were kind of becoming more of the household thing. You get like World of Worlds, stuff like that era, where the kind of peak of the Industrial Revolution, I think is what it was. But it's just kind of modernized with like how we are so technology dependent in today's
Is the show, is it, because I heard it's not one linear story, right? Isn't
Correct.
it
It's just
multiple
like- it's just like an
stories? It's
anthology
anthology,
thing.
but
Yeah.
each season is, the episodes are anthological. So it's almost like a Twilight Zone, but with a skew on like technological dependence. But I like technology, and I don't want it to be the bad guy.
It doesn't necessarily make technology out to be the bad guy, but that's just kind of like a conduit for it, I guess. Does that make sense?
Fair enough. I'll take it. All right. Well, we have to watch these and then give our review coming up.
Are we just doing one episode, right?
One episode. I'm not going to make us binge watch a week. I got things to do. Actually, that's not true. I don't have anything to do except clean all these boxes out of my new apartment. Sorry, our new studio.
Yes.
Studio first, living quarters second.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, excellent. It's delicious. It's too delicious. Get out of here. Piquing your interest. Bam. It's time for our favorite segment,
I didn't know if I was going to say it or not.
Piquing That Interest, where we simply find out what's piquing our interest. So, of course, Garrett, what's piquing your interest?
What's piquing my interest is Dragon Con. Dragon Con was this weekend down in, I think it's in Atlanta, Georgia. Probably like the next biggest con after San Diego. And I think I think that would be a cool one to go to rather than like trying to get to San Diego.
The biggest deal?
Yeah.
What's, I've heard the name, but I'm not familiar with what like their focus is.
I think I know a lot of it's like kind of cosplay, but just like, again, it's just like a big con all around sort of thing.
Is it a little less oriented towards like the superheroes
Yeah.
and more just the rest of fantasy and nerd culture?
Yeah.
That might not be a bad idea to just kind of step away from that and just kind of embrace the rest of the culture, because it is something that's kind of been hijacked.
Yeah.
As of late, the last 15 years almost. But yeah, that's not a bad idea. Have you ever? Is it only there, or is it a traveling?
It's just there.
Just there. Okay. So we just missed it.
Yeah.
So maybe next year. Mm-hmm. Excellent.
I'd be down for that.
Okay.
What about you, Sam?
Piquing my interest is actually something that I want to do, and not something I'm trying to find out to do. I'm trying to find a new game show to watch. I want to mix something up, and the last one that I've stumbled upon is the British, you can't even call it a game show, 8 out of 10 Cats.
What?
It's a fun show. From what I've seen a few episodes now. It's Jimmy Carr is the host, and he has on 4 comedians. There's also a linguistics expert, I believe, and she knows all the words ever. There's also a mathematician who is super great with numbers, and essentially it's just a comedy show, classic British humor. But occasionally they will play a game where they will put 8 numbers on the board, and you will have to, or 6 numbers on the board, and you have to figure out a mathematical equation to get one bigger number. Or they will put, it's kind of a Scrabble thing where they'll put 8 vowels and not syllables, consonants, yes, on the board. Yikes. And then you'll have to come up with the longest word. And that's how they distribute points. But it's really just a ruse to do game show shit. To just do comedy shit. So it's actually a really good show. I'd recommend it, but I'm in the hunt now for a new game show. So I'm going to do some digging to try and find that, because I haven't watched one in a while, and I want to get back to that.
What would you say is your probably favorite game show then?
I mean, it's really,
what was this last one that you watched? I
don't know, because it's kind of all over the place. Sometimes I want to watch just straight up Jeopardy, but then other times I like really stupid shows like Whammy. They don't do anything. There's no skill involved. You're just smacking a button at the right time. I don't know. It's just a good, cheap humor thing. So that's what I'm looking for now.
Okay.
But who the hell knows?
You had I think it's called Comedy Bang Bang.
Oh, see, I don't know. I know the 2 guys that are in that, but is the show a comedy? Is the show a game show?
I don't know. Let me hear. All the commercials that I've seen make it seem like it's kind of like a comedy game show sort of thing.
Gotcha.
Kind of I guess going to an improv show sort of thing. Where it's we've got kind of games and not quite activities, but
things to do.
We've got things to do, and we're going to go around that and see what happens.
So it's a similar conceit to the 8 out of 10 Cats.
Yeah.
Okay. I might.
But again, I don't know anything about the show, so
it's going to be so disappointing.
watch at your own risk.
Perfect. Super helpful. Where can people find us, Garrett?
You can find us on Facebook at 3Wise Media. You can find us on Instagram or Twitter at 3Wise Radio. You can email us at 3wiseradio@gmail.com.
Sounds good.
Shout out to all of our friends over at Movie Versus, our friends at Good Bad or Bad Bad, and our friends at Beyond the Blast Doors.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to try our best to get a bigger, fuller, more robust episode for you guys next week. We're going to try and get one of the Movie Versus guys on as well, but we'll update you with that as we are coming along.
Yeah.
That's it for us.
See you.
See you later.
3 Wise Radio is a production of 3 Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.